And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 186 of Player Life. It is Friday, the 15th of October here in Tokyo, Japan. What is good? What is up? Today, I want to talk about the strong and independent women of Iceland. So apparently Iceland's been woke for some time, and I just want to talk about the video I saw that shows how woke Iceland has gotten. They've come a long way from when they used to be have that strong Viking image, as have most Western countries. Um, Ireland used to have that image, that fighting Irish image, but not so much like that anymore. That's for sure. Gabriel E in the house. What's up? What is good? Hope you are well. Let's see. I just saw this video just before I went live. I just want to share it. Let me share. Okay. So there you have it. The only time we're not indecisive. Just for anyone who didn't catch that, I'll play it once more. Slap it in my face, slap it in my face, shove it down my throat, and she chooses the tequila. So, like, women are constantly telling us on social media, they're constantly telling us the truth. It's obviously mixed in with a bunch of lies, but they're actually, women are just outing their true nature on social media. They're constantly outing the reality. It's just that blue pill guys tend not to pay attention or to pick up on it, but that's the reality. They want to be, when it comes to bedroom fun, they certainly want to be, they want to be roughed around and all stuff like that. But it's pretty funny how they just constantly out themselves. Let's see if the comments. This is a whole mood. Yeah. Women don't like that, like, romantic bullshit when it comes. Usually, when it comes to the bedroom, they usually do not. Um, Certainly not for when it comes to one night stands. Women are not searching after, like, any kind of soft romantic shit. They're after the like the hard dick. Um, yeah. So it's just something to be aware of. It's pretty funny too because, uh, yeah, just like slap it in my face, shove it down my throat. Telling you guys, like, that's what they want. I said it before and I say it again. Women do not want to feel like they've been slithered on by a slug after they've had sex. They want to feel like they've played sports. Like, if you haven't made a woman feel like she has gone to the gym, or, like, done a round of something that has, fatigued her, then you haven't done a good job. They should feel kind of like, like they've gone to the gym. But yeah, let me share something. So yeah, Iceland's gone woke apparently. Let's talk about it.
being a man is almost frowned upon. There's a sense, I think, among a lot of men that the pendulum has swung a little bit too far in the opposite direction.
This idea that men get paid more than women is a lie.
The World Economic Forum currently ranks Iceland as the best place in the world when it comes to gender equality. Now, Australia, by comparison, well, we're ranked number 35.
It was really a strike in 1975, both on the labour market and in the home, which put Icelandic women on the world map. In the evening, there was a smell of burnt meat. The men were trying to cook.
Have you burnt the meat?
Erotic.
Now, apparently the boys have had their nails done last week, so they just need a touch-up.
We cannot put children in box. And then when they are 20, then you will say all of a sudden, be creative.
In Iceland, the pay gap is around about that 5% mark. In Australia, the pay difference is 15 to 20%. And yet you're still saying, still not good enough.
No, of course it's not good enough until it's zero.
Floating into the air. Melancholic harmonies of an ancient Viking song.
Hello.
So, Iceland has been named the best place in the world to be a woman. Is it the best place in the world to be a man?
We have very strong women, independent, and we like it.
Well,
The man said it himself, strong and independent, and we like it. I doubt they do, but they're just too pussified to admit it. Like, men are attracted to feminine, soft women. We're not attracted to strong and independent women. It's not an attractive. Opposites attract. Like, straight men are attracted to hot, feminine women, and women are attracted to strong, masculine men. But yeah.
strong women, that means also strong men. So I think the equality is the main point here.
I'm doing the same work as a woman, and a woman is doing the same work as me. Of course, we should be paid exactly the same.
There is no other option than equality. Agree?
We very much agree when we take a bath together.
Hearing that having strong women means strong men is something I want to learn more about. The youngest choir member invites me home to the family.
Having strong women means disincentivized and demotivated men. It's not good for society. It's not good for the balance of a society, because men are motivated to work and so that they can provide for a feminine woman. But if women are all strong and independent, it's like it demotivates men to want to to want to get married or want to have a family. It's like completely demotivating.
Family farm.
Yeah. They're all beautiful.
Yeah.
They're fine gators.
Prana and his dad are close. When he was young, he spent a lot of time with his dad because it was Mum that went away to work to support the family farm.
Sko þegar ég átti hann, þá var ég náttúrulega bara með búskapinn, sko.
Like I'm the last one. So when he had me, he was only working here as a farmer. So I was at home with him until I was 5. I was all alone, just here with him always. He was just always taking care of me, and my mom was working away. That's maybe a way he got sick of me.
So gender equality, women's rights, supporting women professionally, that sounds like it's been around for at least a couple of generations.
Veit ég þetta nokkra kynslóðir.
Það ekki þín kynslóð svona fyrsta?
Já, ég myndi halda það.
Já.
Mín kynslóð svo fyrsta.
Og enda því hefði verið frekar bara...
Yeah.
So his mother had to go away and work and give birth to him and leave to go off to work like while he was being raised by his father. It's a real win for women right there. It's a real win. I believe, I think women should raise the children. It's good to be raised by a female when you're like a child, like a really young child, to be nurtured by a female. But, when you become a teenager, when you start to become a teenager, then the father can step in and teach you how to be a man. But this is totally retarded how this situation where a mother goes away to work while he's like until he's like 5. Yeah, real win for women right there. Real strong and independent.
Já, pabbi sko bara kona átti ekkert að fara burtu sko. Hún átti bara að elda.
I think he thinks that his generation is the first one that wants that equality and everybody to have the same thing for everybody.
How does he feel about some people in Australia still believing, like his father and grandfather did, that women should be in the kitchen and nothing else?
Mér finnst það bara merkilegt. Ég held að þetta væri... Já, ég veit ekki, ég held að þetta væri komið miklu lengra alls þar.
So, how did Iceland get further ahead? For the past 4 decades,
if Iceland is further ahead in wokeness than Australia, then Iceland must be a real fucking shithole in terms of the society. Because Australia is, as far as this video is a few years old, but as far as I can see, Australia is taking the fucking lead, taking the fucking piss, especially with all this beer bug stuff. Australia has taken the fucking lead in terms of the woke fucking bullshit that they're coming out with. Woke authoritarian fascism. Like, wokeness is basically becoming aligned with fascism now. Like, they're this woke fucking garbage. Authoritarian bastards, man. Pure scum, man.
they've had a series of women in the top job. In 1980, they voted in the world's first democratically elected female president, a single mum. In 2007, they elected a gay female prime minister, also a world first. The current prime minister, Katrin Jakobsdottir, is a fierce advocate for women's rights and a mother of 3. But
it seems to be a thing in Europe. Like, it's a race to see who can have the most woke, like, gay leader. Same thing happened in Ireland. Like, we had this mixed race, like half Irish, half Indian, gay prime minister, or we call them prime minister basically. It's just like, why does it? I don't know. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me why is that something to be celebrated? Like, why are we celebrating what, like, who someone likes to put their dick in? Oh, oh, he's gay. Oh yeah, like cheer it up, like celebrate it. Who gives a fuck? I honestly don't give a fuck. But it's just like when they rub it in your face and you have to applaud for it and cheer for it, and it's like, yeah, shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna cheer for it. I don't give a fuck. Um,
It wasn't just
It
women
wasn't
in
just
politics
women
who
in
brought about
politics who brought about change. On October 24, 1975, 90% of Iceland's women took part in a strike. At the time, women earned 60% less than men. These were their complaints. Job ads for low-paid work usually specified that a woman would be required. It was commonly said that housework wasn't real work. When seeking a job, often gender mattered more than education or experience. Without women's work, the country stopped. This is the moment that formed Iceland as a modern feminist utopia.
that literally sounds like a nightmare, like a modern feminist utopia. God, it sounds so horrible. And like, imagine men just decided to strike for a day. Like literally everything would, whichever society that happened in, it would be a complete fucking, people would die. Like, actually people would die. Like if men just stopped, decided to go on strike, like every single man, and like people would literally die. That's how, men are the ones who keep like all the fucking everything fucking running. Um all the fucking utilities, everything.
and Sigrid
Gudruna, one of Iceland's leading feminists, was there.
It was really a tremendous atmosphere and a tremendous day, which put Icelandic women on the world map for the first time. It made international news. It was a strike both on the labor market and in the home. I remember very well that in the evening there was a smell of burnt meat in the streets. The men were trying to cook. And burnt meat always reminds me of this day in 1970.
Flip the script on that and imagine the screeching and the outcry from feminists, saying, that men are bad at cooking and whatnot. Yeah, just the double standards, the hypocrisy never ceases to amaze me. It's just it's unbelievable. And it's fucking hilarious how come all the most famous chefs in the world are men? How come men are even better at doing like stuff that women are traditionally supposed to be good at? And she's going and saying, oh, that's a fucking like such an exaggeration. That's definitely not true as well. Like, yeah, like for one day, men just started burning meat, and that was like you could smell it on the streets. Is that believable? Obviously not. Like, it's fucking in her warped little feminist mind that might have happened, but it didn't actually happen in reality. But it is funny, actually, you know, how even like all the famous chefs, like I said, they're all men. Like, I don't know. I don't believe this thing that, oh, men, I don't even think like even I don't think cooking is necessarily like a feminine thing. Um, it's like men are pretty good at doing. I'm pretty good at cooking, to be honest. Like, I don't associate it with being feminine, or eat, like cooking, like eating. Like, you need to eat. Like, it's one of the most basic things. Um, that's why if I'm ever out on a date with a bitch, right, and you're just talking, building up rapport, trying to get to know each other, and the only problem, like, there's been a few times where I'm not asking. I asked them, do you like to cook or do you cook? Just not to like you be like, oh, do you cook because you're a woman? I'm just literally asking, like, do you cook yourself or do you go out for food or whatnot? Just literally trying to get to know the girl. And some of these girls will give you like it's a real red flag when some of these girls give you that like kind of obnoxious, like defensive. Oh, I don't cook. I suppose you think I cook because I'm a girl or something like that. And it's like, get the fuck out of here, bitch. Like, I don't have time for that shit. But yeah, it's definitely a red flag if a girl. And then you'll also get girls that like proudly say, say that, oh, I can't cook. It's like it's because I guess they're trying to rebel against that stereotype of women cooking, and you know, and it's just really lame as fuck. Like, I don't know, it's really lame.
You can understand why we wanted to wait, you see, to see you cooking the meat tonight. So, have you burnt the meat?
Nej, jag hade kört det. Här är kallt.
It's almost cold. No, it's not burned. It's looking good.
One of the reasons Iceland is at the top of the gender equality list could be the revolutionary private kindergartens. What they do is almost unusual. For part of the day, boys and girls are separated. So boys can do stereotypical girls' activities and girls can do traditional boys' activities.
Verið sterkar eða sterkar? Sterkar! Glæsilegt.
It's all about unravelling gender stereotypes.
Oh my God, they are just beautiful. They are just beautiful. Shall we continue to see some more?
Margaret, who runs the school, shows me first how boys are encouraged to develop their emotions and girls are taught to be strong and independent. It's a helicopter parent's worst nightmare.
Oh my God, they're wonderful.
What about just from a safety point of view?
That is also experience to tolerate little pain. We cannot put children in box. When they are 2 years old, they say, oh, don't get dirty, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then when they are 20, then you will say all of a sudden, be creative.
Aaron says, private kindergarten school is just welfare for women to allow the government to watch kids and allow mommy to pursue a career. And let's be honest, a lot of the time, it's not even a career. A lot of the time, these women are just working like basic jobs that you couldn't really classify as a career. It's more just like office work or something, like some normal kind of job. It's not necessarily that they're lawyers or doctors. Most of these women are just doing like pretty menial, shitty jobs, to be honest, like that you wouldn't classify as being a career. Like, a lot of people get it messed up, like, working as an office lady or like working in some, in some company isn't really a career. It's just like you're just an employee earning kind of shitty pay, like, or maybe like average pay or even a little above average. But yeah, it's just people need to understand that most women that are working, they're jobs, they're not careers. They're not careers. That, don't get it twisted. You could, like, if a woman is like a lawyer and she's working her way up and she's building a reputation, you could call that a career. But a woman working in like for like Google, not maybe, for some normal company, just some lower level job, that's not a career. you get my point.
Go out of the box. Be daring.
As the girls get
dirty and smash nails, the boys prepare to paint theirs.
What's happening here, Margaret?
Training skills, being close, being friend, and touching to just feel the emotions.
In Australian schools, it's frowned upon. I think for teachers to touch the children too much.
It's all about touching them.
Now, apparently, the boys have had their nails done last week, so they just need a touch up this week. This little boy's requested something, a rainbow, so we'll use a few different colours. Okay, good choice. Beautiful. So we saw some of the boys getting their nails painted. You're really encouraging that emotional intelligence there. But does that mean that you're also repressing their masculinity?
Simply teaching them that they can be beautiful. There is nothing in this world that is only for girls or women. There's nothing.
But isn't the current situation worldwide, there's very much this momentum behind the Me Too movement, right? Where men are...
That's like, I don't know, like what is with like these trying to use cosmetics on boys, on kids in general, even I don't even think like girls of that age shouldn't be painting their nails. Like girls of the like children should not be using, boys or girls should not be painting their nails or using makeup. It's pretty messed up in my opinion. Jordan Peterson actually talks about it, you know, like how like women, like why are women even using makeup in the workplace? Because pretty dark, because you know makeup is actually used to like sexualize, like that's what it's for. That's actually one of the points that I agree with Jordan Peterson about a lot. You know, like why are women using makeup in the workplace? It's like there's no need for it. Why are you trying to sexualize yourself like in the, and so obviously if women in the workplace shouldn't be using makeup, then certainly kids should not be using makeup. It's pretty messed up. But yeah, I mean it's just pretty weird.
Being taught to be very sensitive about physical touch, aren't they, towards other people, especially women?
It's all about starting early.
Okay.
I mean, so they are able to touch, to show their feelings.
I have to ask Margaret how busting gender stereotypes will shape the kids when there are men who still feel their masculinity's being threatened.
We're always saying that they are not good enough. No, but in our single-sex settings, we are teaching our boys social qualities.
Yes.
And we are supporting their self-image of being wonderful, loving, and caring, and beautiful guys. I have often been asked, will your boys, will you just be gay? That's a completely different thing. You know, just experience everything in
life. Close to 10% of parents are choosing to educate their preschoolers in Margret's kindergartens.
Are you ready?
I meet one of the dads at pickup time, and he invites me home to meet the family. Brian is an American expat and stay-at-home dad for Eric, aged 4, and the baby. He's one of the many stay-at-home dads in the country.
Kiss a little bit. Mwah.
Have you seen changes in little Eric?
Definitely. He's quite shy and more of an introvert. So it's helped him a lot to we see him blossom. It's good that the boys are taught more tenderness and being more sensitive.
Absolutely.
And girls taking more space and being noisy and assertive. You can see like just with the Me Too movement, we need boys the stereotyping of what a man is. We need to break that and let them also just show their feelings and be themselves.
Brian, you've got a background from the US, you've moved to Iceland, so you're aware of different cultures. Are you at all concerned that too much time is spent teaching boys those stereotypically feminine characteristics and that might be at the expense of some masculine traits?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, he's learning a lot of these things through school, which I'm not necessarily teaching him at home. And he's getting all of the other traditional masculine techniques and stereotypical things. And it's also exciting to see, when you start combining these things, what sort of little child is going to, come out the other end.
Aaron R says, what's the divorce rate in Iceland? Just looked it up and it said it is 36.73% per 1,000. Okay, so yeah, it seems to be pretty high because, I mean, let me see. Let me see, what's it in America? USA. Yeah, anyway, it's pretty high. No wonder it's pretty high. Ireland is like 15%. So yeah, divorce rate is very high. No wonder, because women are probably masculine and obnoxious and confrontational and fucking annoying head wreckers. Fucking head wreckers. What? No wonder the divorce rate is high. Like, not only the divorce rate is high, but the marriage rate is also probably, well, certainly plummeting. Not probably. I mean, you don't need to pull out statistics to know that the marriage rate is plummeting in all across Western countries. You need to be a fucking idiot to get to go and get married in the current environment in a Western country. Not smart. John Fox in house, what's up?
In 10, 15 years. So it is definitely something that is also changing within the culture that, these stereotypical masculine roles, for me to take the kids out, no one thinks twice. It's just, that's what a dad does. That's what he's supposed to do. And when the culture thinks that way, it's acceptable for me to do these things, then we're starting to make progress. And then it's not a radical idea for us.
And do you think that some of those women's rights come at the expense of rights for men?
I don't think it's a competition at all. There's also trickle down for men as well. Like, I get a 3-month paternity leave to spend at home with the children, which is paid for partly by the government, which is not offered in other countries.
Brian gets.
Ultimately, I think like women are without doubt the biggest losers from all this. Like, look at this beta guy, like, staying at home while his wife goes out to work. Like ultimately, guys are the ones that are come out on top. Like, even the guys that don't get married or anything, or it's women are the ones that have to be both men and women at the same time. And usually they end up losing out on being a woman. They lose out on the whole. A lot of women, they will never even get the chance to marry or have kids because they've just been brainwashed and manipulated into, like I said, going after a career or not a career, just some shitty menial office job that they probably claim to be a career when it's actually not. Yeah.
Paid 80% of his salary in one of the most generous paternity leave systems in the world. Australian dads are playing catch-up here, with just 14 days paternity leave offered at the minimum wage.
Here in Iceland, it's very much like, you don't have meetings at 5 o'clock because everyone knows that at 4 o'clock you have to pick up the children from kindergarten. No more monkeys jumping on the bed. I'm getting to spend more time with my sons and learn and watch them grow, which, you could argue, you can't pay for that sort of thing. That's a little meme. What does a meme say?
With Brian taking care of things at home, Ninya's able to go back to work after 3 months looking after the baby.
And it's good to just slowly get into the rhythm. Yeah, like not jump into work, and then you have a bad feeling that you're leaving your kid behind.
Yeah, sure.
This is like slow
baby steps.
Exactly, which is very good.
It's the kind of flexibility that has helped Iceland rocket to the top of the world rankings for gender equality.
This is my office, Icelandic Lamb.
Okay.
And my boss is here. I would like to introduce you to him. So here is Svavar Haldursson.
Hello,
Hi.
Svavar.
How are you?
Good, I'm Janice. Lovely to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too.
So,
It's not just about getting women back to work. It's also about paying them what they deserve. Iceland has recently made it illegal for firms with over 25 employees to pay men more than women for the same work. Another world first from this nation.
This is the domestic consumption, the export, and the tourism.
Even though Ninya's boss could face hefty fines if he doesn't comply, he supports the law which aims to erase the gender pay gap.
When they first started talking about some laws about equal pay, I thought it was a good idea because, in my opinion, it's the thing to do. And this is how we try to run our company. And I think overall, at least among younger executives, that was a very common opinion. People were happy about it.
what about the timing of all this? In 2008, Iceland was hit really bad.
The whole fucking gender pay gap thing has been debunked, like, officially, like, so many times. It's pure propaganda, pure garbage, fucking lies. It's already illegal to pay men more than women for the same job. It's just not true. When they're talking about the gender pay gap, they're adding up like the total amount of for the entirety of the country, because women choose different kinds of jobs and men are choosing higher paid jobs. It's not for the same job. It's for the gender pay gap is such a fucking myth. It's such garbage. It's pure lies. It's just funny that they're still talking about that shit.
By financial crisis, and yet 10 years later, you're introducing what some would say are quite radical laws around pay equity.
I don't think laws to implement it is seen as radical to anybody. And if we think back to 2008, to the whole big financial crisis, all the banks and the big companies were run by men. So maybe it was the absence of women that was the bad thing.
Ninya takes me to meet one of her co-workers who thinks Iceland still has a way to go.
This is Odni, my colleague.
Hello, Odni.
Hello.
Janice, hi.
Nice to meet
Lovely
you.
to meet you. In Iceland,
He said all the banks, all the big companies were run by men. However, I think the country was ran by a woman. Yeah, I believe the politicians there was a lot of women politicians. So, he doesn't mention that, does he?
The pay gap is around about that 5% mark. In Australia, the pay difference is around about 15 to 20%. And yet you're still saying with that around 5%, still not good enough.
No, of course it's not good enough until it's zero. Why should there be any gap?
Well, the government wants.
These fucking simpletons, like they don't fucking get it. They don't get the simple concept. These women are basically arguing for communism. They want like a CEO of a private company to be paid the same as a fucking office worker. That's what they're talking about, because that's why there is a pay difference, a total pay difference. There's no difference in pay for men and women doing the same job. If there's an office worker man and an office worker woman doing the same job, same hours, they're going to get paid the same. It's just when they add the total amount of money earned for the entirety of males compared to females, men are earning more because they're working higher paid jobs. They're not working. It's not the same jobs, but these fucking idiots, these fucking entitled bitches are like demanding like equal pay for jobs that aren't equal to those jobs that are higher paid. It's basically, it's communism what they're advocating for.
There to be pay parity by 2022. Is that achievable, or is that a little too close for that to happen? Is there enough time?
It's good to have a strong goal, and then we can push it a little further.
I have 3 boys, and we should not favor one over the other. And sometimes, for a short period of time, we may have to support men in this area and women in this area to reach equality.
But does gender equality come at a cost? Can a feminist utopia produce a dark side? Iceland may top the World Economic Forum's list as the best place to be a woman, but it also has one of the highest rates of violence against women per capita in Europe.
Domestic violence is something that's always been there. And one of the reasons...
This honestly doesn't surprise me at all. This really doesn't surprise me. Apparently, I'm no expert on domestic violence, but apparently women are the ones that initiate domestic violence in most cases. In most cases, and obviously not all the cases, but men are obviously the stronger sex. So if things hit shit hits the fan and things become violent, a scuffle occurs, some back and forth. The man is obviously 90, 100, almost 100% of the time going to come out on top, and it's just a thing. It's just it's crazy. It makes sense that there'd be more tension in a household where the women are more masculine. The women might feel more emboldened to confront the man physically, because they've been raised to think that they've been lied to think that they're like completely equal to men, and that a lot of women will become so delusional to think that they can take on a man physically. I mean, we've all seen the world star hip hop videos where these ratchet women getting sparked out cold because they've initiated an altercation with a man in a nightclub or whatnot, and then they find out soon enough that they're not in any position to physically attack a man. But I imagine it just doesn't make for a very harmonious household if you're going to be living with a very masculine, confrontational kind of like I'm a boss babe woman. It doesn't, opposites attract. The reason men are attracted to women is because they're soft, feminine, they bring a different quality to your life. So if you're going to be coming home to some obnoxious, like loud, like screechy, like in your face boss bitch that thinks she's like, oh, I'm, and that's kind of like, that also has like the chip off her shoulder because she's been taught by society, she's been raised to think that men have oppressed women for so long, and that she's finally come up, and she's gonna stand up to the man. It doesn't create for a very peaceful society, household. So it doesn't actually surprise me that domestic violence is pretty high in Iceland.
While we see that it seems to be growing in this country, maybe the anxiety that men are feeling, which can increase violence in the home.
We hear a lot about the powerful Viking heritage that Iceland has and the strength of its women while the Viking men were away. But the picture is a lot more complicated than that, isn't it?
Men in Iceland are experiencing like they are watching a football game, and they have been relatively confident that their team would win. Now the position is 3-4, and it's not quite sure if their team wins or the women's team. So they're very scared and very anxious. And that is where some of them fit in. We are quite clear about the fact that we still have quite a way to go.
Iceland knows it has a dark side and is doing something about it. This video is about sexual consent.
Just imagine instead of initiating sex, you're making them a cup of tea. You say, hey, would you like it?
They've flipped the laws here. Instead of the victim having to prove they said no, it's the accused who has to prove they received a yes. And without a yes, it could be considered rape.
But if you can understand how completely ludicrous it is to force people to have tea when they don't want tea, and you're able to understand when people don't want tea, then how hard is it to understand it when it comes to sex?
These classes are also about understanding the power dynamics of sex and relationships. I have a chat with 4 students about what they think of the new consent laws.
Like if you're going to have sex and stuff, you have to talk about it and like know what the other person wants. And because I think it's of course very awkward and like people maybe don't want to do it, but we have to do it. And it's good to know like that's what like a good sex life is. Like you have to like get a yes, you know. Yeah.
Cap, lies, bullshit, all fucking. I'll just say this: I've told this story before, and I remember I was in college, and there was this girl that I was talking with her, and I was about to we were standing real close to each other. We're about to hook up basically, and I was really blue pill at the time, and I just said to her, is it I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines, can I kiss you or something? Is it okay if I kiss you? And then she just let out this sigh of like, she just threw her head back and was like, oh my God, like, is it not obvious? She just like, I can't remember the exact wording of it, but it was the fact that I like verbalized, like I was asking her, could I kiss her? And she was just so turned off by it. She was, because it was obvious that we were going to kiss. Like I didn't need to ask her. I didn't need to like ask her. It was just so fucking obvious. Like we were holding hands, we were about to kiss. I just fucking ruined the moment. And like, this is the cold hard truth that like all these fucking woke dickheads don't like. We know the truth is like women, like they're just such fucking liars. Like all these the reality is just so different. Like this woke bullshit. Just this, it's all about like when you're hooking up with a girl, it's all about implied consent. That's why it's important to understand like body language, like all that. Like it's the real world is not like South Park did a perfect episode on it. Like even South Park covered it. Like it was like PC Bro, and there was like consent forms, and it's like it's just so absurd. It doesn't work like that. It really women like. If a woman really likes you and she's really into you and you're about to make out and you interrupt it and you say, excuse me, Is it all right if I kiss you? Like there's no doubt about it. They're gonna really like lose attraction for you. They're really, really gonna lose attraction for you. But you know, this woke fucking gimp ass little fucking lefty bullshit. Like all this, like, oh, you must like. It's just lies. It's pure fucking lies. It's like these the most hardcore feminists. Like they're the ones that will get, you know. It's like they're the ones that want to get like fucking railed in the ass by like a dominant alpha male that will just like choke them, like just disgraceful shit. Like you want, you know what I mean? It's just the lies. Like they're just telling lies. It's just all these dorks and shit that don't get it. Um, but it's it's one of the biggest lies ever in, you know, spread out by this that it was initiated by the whole Me Too thing. Oh, you must discuss it, you must be upfront, and you must tell a girl, like, you must tell her exactly your intentions. From you, it must be blunt. You have to tell her exactly what you want. And it's like you will literally never get laid if you approach a girl on a date and you say, you know, actually, I'm just here, you know, just need to be honest and tell you that I'm just here, you know, I'm not looking for a girlfriend, but I'd love to have sex, that's why I'm on the date. You're literally never going to get laid. You're never going to get laid. It's never going to happen. You cannot. The whole thing about having game is being smooth, like reading the air, understanding the situation. Like if like it's almost like autism to be, you know, coming out and like telling, you know, not verbalizing every thought and every feeling. Like it's pretty autistic. Like but yeah, it's just a fucking cap. It's just it's just so annoying to constantly hear it because it's such lies. Like it's not the way sex works. I would go as far as to say, like, if you behave like that, like if you're back in your hat, you're back, just let's say you have a girl back at your place, you're escalating, you're kissing, and like, you know, sometimes it could really like kill the mood if you're really like, if you're like, oh, excuse me, is it okay if we have sex now? It's like there's so many different ways to get implied consent. Like, you know, you can ask them, are they feeling good? Like there's so many ways. Like you know, it's just, I don't know.
And a very firm.
Yeah, very firm. Yeah.
A tiny bit of the session talked about pornography, and we know that some of the statistics are saying that for boys at least, they might be watching porn about once a week. So probably sometimes more for some guys. But how much is that putting pressure on young people, do you think?
Another interesting point there about porn. And the data shows that women are watching more and more violent, aggressive, like hardcore pornography now. And why? Because men have become so fucking pussified, such bitches, such little pussies. Women are craving masculinity. They're craving it out. Like they're really desperate for it. Because men, like, they're all like women are creating men that they fucking hate. Like women, like this whole, like this woke agenda is creating the type of guy that women fucking hate. And that's the irony of this whole thing. That's the whole irony of all of this woke bullshit. Women are the biggest losers. I stand by that statement. Women are definitely come out the bigger losers in the long run, like in general, because men can be easily, you know, men are easily, you know, satisfied pretty much. You know, you could go out, you know, men can survive, you know, men can get by, you know, by even if they're not getting laid, they can, you know, play their video games, you know, have their little hobbies, you know, get on with life. But for women, it's much more like devastating to end up, you know, being a single woman like for decades and decades, living alone. The loneliness will like just crush their spirit. It just crushes. It's like soul crushing loneliness they experience because it's not natural for a woman to not give birth and not have a family. It's like it's unnatural. It was like throughout history, like it's like this is only a recent phenomenon that women are going like without making a family.
as long as there's education about it not being real, which, well, I mean, I think we're fortunate to have had that sort of education beforehand. But I mean, with those sort of, with that lens, if you look at it with a filter, sort of, yeah. But if it's not there, then it's very damaging, I think.
Yeah, it's like pornography and sex and like real life and Spider-Man. Yeah.
So Iceland's known around the world as the best place in the world to be a woman. But I'm just wondering, for you young men, where does that leave you?
Equality doesn't. It just elevates the other side. It doesn't really push us down, I don't think.
I think it's
One thing that's apparent here in Iceland is that you're constantly at the mercy of the elements. The environment here is
Slap it in my face, shove it down.
Muted. God damn it. Okay, yeah. So obviously, just since we're on this topic, about Me Too and all that consent stuff. No, just this Instagram, like women tell us the truth, like on social media, they're outing themselves. Like I said earlier, it's like, and they mixed it in with a bunch of cap, a bunch of lies too. But like, it's like one of these kinds of videos that come through and they tell us like the reality of female nature and what they really want. But it's very true, with the wine. All this romantic, the wine is the romantic, lay down on me and all this bullshit, and then, let's see the
Slap it in my face, shove it down.
slap it in my face, shove it down my throat. She chooses, which drink does she choose? She chooses the tequila. She chooses the slap it in my face, shove it down my throat. Like, when a woman likes you, like when a woman likes you and she wants to have sex with you, she doesn't want you to be like, oh, excuse me, I really like you, and I just wondering, can we, can I put my dick in you? It's like, dude, no. It's like, the reality is it goes back to the whole idea where not idea, but the fact that women make rules for betas and break rules for alphas. Like, they usually women want the hardcore stuff. They want the hardcore sex. They want to feel like they've, like I said earlier, they want to feel like they've gone to a gym. They want to feel like they've done an activity. They want to feel like they've been slithered on by a fucking weak slug that, like, yeah, it's just funny, man. This world we live in, full of lies. Or I'm gonna just share it.
incredibly hostile, and yet the people are anything but. The men, women, and children that I've spoken to have a very strong sense of resilience. They all pitch in and get things done. There's been a strong history of female leadership making it to the highest office. And the relatively small population means it's easier to galvanise people behind the strongest gender equality laws anywhere on earth. And that's good news for women and men.
Apparently, it's not good news for women and men. There's like high levels of domestic violence. Like, how is this good news? It's a clear symptom that the society, it's an unhappy society when there's like high levels of divorce and high levels of domestic violence. There's so much like lies, you know, a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of lies. Um, yeah, so it's like, you know, we say in this kind of red pill space, you know, don't listen to what women say, you know, watch what they do. And that's true. And that is very true. But you can also like, you can listen and you can like, but you have to like pick it, you have to kind of, because like I said, they're kind of out, women are outing themselves on social media and telling you kind of their true female nature. You know, you're kind of seeing what they actually want, you know, by their activities online. And we're seeing that more and more. I mean, it's been like that for a long time, for years now, because we've had social media for quite a while. So they're telling us, but you have to figure out what's the cap, what's the lie, and what's the truth. And that's where the red pill comes in. You have to figure that out, because they do mix it in with a lot of lies too. You know, they'll say like, "Where's the?" You know, they'll cry 1 minute. You know, I'm sure that, you know, they'll go online and cry 1 minute. You know, where's the nice guy? You know, I can't find a nice guy. You know, I'm like 31 years old. Like, I'm a boss bitch and all this, and like, you know, I just want a nice guy to, you know, that'll be emotional with me and all this stuff. And the next day, literally the next day, they'll share something like I just showed, like the wine and the tequila drink, and the, you know, the implied meaning of it, which is like soft romantic sex as opposed to hardcore rough hot sex. They're going to choose the hard rough hot sex over that romantic gooey bullshit, you know. So this is the kind of double speak that we're like bombarded with by women on social media. This insane hypocrisy just that you see constantly. I mean, all you have to do is watch an episode of Fresh and Fit, and you'll see the exact same thing. The exact same. Girls will constantly have this thing, you know. Oh yeah, it's okay for guys to be emotional. It's fine, you know. You know, they'll say this to make themselves sound good. You know, they want to be accepted. They want to be on the winning side. You know, girls kind of they have the herd mentality. They'll go along with whatever is popular and whatever is safe to say. But at the same time, then they'll tell you the truth. They'll completely like contradict exactly what they said, like literally just in the previous sentence. Like, you know, it's amazing. It's an amazing skill that these. I wouldn't even call it a skill, but it's an amazing thing to behold. These levels of hypocrisy, and it's an unbelievable thing to witness. But yeah, I don't know. What I would say is just learn game, understand female nature, and don't get married. Don't get married in the West. Don't do it. Like, why would you do it? Why would you get the government involved in your life? Like, why would you give them more power? Like, they're already taking enough powers from us. Like, they're already trying to lock us down and control us. Why would you give them that another like edge, another way in to fuck your life up, another way in to boss you around? No, like, you don't need to get married. Like, if you're gonna like you know, you just don't need it. You don't need to get involve a contract and give uh Aaron R says I'd even go don't get in relationships. I mean, well, I've been living this player lifestyle for years, so I'm not even I'm a more of a catch and release guy. So like I love living this like free agent kind of lifestyle, free to come and go whenever the fuck I please. It's pretty sweet lifestyle. Once you learn game and you like being free, but you still like having sex and you like having these kind of flings and just come and go as you please. The player lifestyle is for you. If anyone is interested in learning more about living the player lifestyle, maybe they're not happy with their sex life at the moment, but they don't necessarily want to get in a relationship, but they want to start having sex with hot girls, consider jumping on a call with me. Go over to my website, Mac the Day Gamer. Let me just get it up. Let me see. Yeah, go over and we can get in. I've been living this lifestyle for quite a few years, and it works out well for me. So you could jump on a consultation with me. Link is in the chat, and I can definitely help you fine tune, figure out where you're going wrong, because you don't even need to be like you don't need to be like a 10 out of 10 looks guy to live the player lifestyle. You could be like a 5 out of 10 in looks, and I'm talking like even if your looks maxing and you're still like kind of like a 5 out of 10, maybe you're not the best looking guy, but you can really level up. Like there's so many different ways to level up in game and hook up with hot chicks and not have to be in a relationship. You don't have to be in a relationship with them to get laid. So jump on a call, and I can definitely point you in the right direction, tell you exactly what it takes, and I won't hold any punches. If there's something you need to do, if there's something that you're lacking, I'll tell you. If you need to lose weight, if your fashion sucks, if you're doing something wrong on the dates, if you're not able to escalate properly, I'll figure out where you're going wrong, like what it is that you're doing wrong. Because in this day and age, if you have game, it doesn't even matter if you're living in some shithole Western country with all this feminism, you still should be able to live the player lifestyle. It's like entirely possible. So yeah, guys, jump on a call and I'll sort you out. But until then, it's Friday, so I'll be back on Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until then, have a good weekend. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out. Bye-bye.